Today on our 2018 Ford Focus, you're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install the Roadmaster 4-Diode Universal Wiring Kit for towed vehicles. Part number RM-152-98146-7. This is what our diode kit is supposed to do after it's installed. It's going to transfer your light signals from your RV to your towed vehicle so you can safely flat tow it. It's going to be one of 5 main components in a flat tow setup. The other 4 are going to be your base plate, your tow bar, your safety cables, and your braking system. Now let's take a look at what comes in the kit. You're going to get your straight 6-pole wire, your 6-pole plug that's going to mount to the front of your towed vehicle, your 30-foot of wire that's going to run from the front of the vehicle to the back of the vehicle. You're going to get your diodes that are going to be connected to the factory wiring on your towed vehicle. You'll get a mounting bracket for your 6-pole plug and a few extra parts to help you get this installed. Let's go over what the diodes are used for. Diodes are going to be used to protect your factory wiring from any backfeed from your camper or RV if there's a wiring issue, and vice versa. There are different diode kits that we have available on here at eTrailer.com. This particular one is straight because it's used for a tow bar that has a rail system where this wire will actually feed through that rail, and then you'll add this other section on the 6-pole end onto the end once you have it fed through there. It keeps it off the ground. Now let me show you how I ran my diode wiring from the front of the vehicle to the back. I just zip tied it to the 2 pegs that are coming out where my plug is going to be mounted. I went across the back of my base plate and went up because we want to stay away from anything hot or moving. We couldn't run it down, so we had to go up. It actually goes up behind the headlight, over top of my fender well on this side, or on our passenger side. You can see there's a hard line here. I zip tied it there, came back down. Went right against the firewall. You have this foam panel or cardboard panel here. I went underneath of it. Take a Phillips or flathead screwdriver. You can pop these off. It has a couple of 10mm head bolts here. Pop it off, and there's hard lines that run all the way underneath of it. I zip tied one right in the middle just to hold it up to make sure it stays in. Just filed the hard lines back. Went around this side of the fuel tank. Zip tie it to this line. Went straight across. On our pinch weld here on our passenger side, there's a couple holes. I zip tied it right to that to make sure it stayed tight and up. And then what I did is I separated my wires, my 4 wires. Since we're on the passenger side, we're going to take the green, white, and brown wire up behind our tail light. My yellow wire, I went ahead and ran it across. Our brown wire is going to be our running light signal that we're going to jump from our passenger side over to our driver's side. So we're going to be running it the same way as our yellow one. As far as removing the tail light, we're going to come inside the trunk. You're going to have a small panel here. Go ahead and pull that panel off. You're going to see 2 wing nuts. What we're going to do is spin those. It could be kind of hard, so you may need a pair of pliers to get them started. Spin those off. One here, and you get one here. And then to take the light off, simply pull out like that. Unplug our lights. Just like that. We'll set our light aside for now. Next thing we need to do is test our wires to figure out what our signals are, or where our signals are coming through. Through testing, we determined that our purple wire, and this is going to be on both sides of the vehicle, our purple wire is going to be our running light signal. Our yellow wire is actually going to be our brake signal, but we're going to combine it and make it our brake and our turn signal. Now we need to get our brown wire, our white wire, and our green wire up from the bottom, behind our fascia, up to our taillight wiring. You can use Airline tube if you have it, wire hanger. What I like to do is a piece of string, a bolt or a nut on it, just makes it heavy. We're going to drop it right down through this pocket. It's going to come out of the bottom. We'll just take our 3 wires, tie them right onto the nut. And then we'll pull our string back up. Once you get your wires up, remove your plumb bob or your weight, whatever you're using. Pull your wires up tight. White wire, we're going to set that aside. It's going to be our ground wire. We'll start with our brake and turn signal. Green wire from our diode kit is going to be for that function. Go ahead and cut our yellow wire. Strip back both ends. Add on a blue spade connector onto each one of those wires. Go ahead and add on our diode. One side's going to have 2, one side's going to have 1. You'll see in and out. Out is going out towards the light. So we'll put the single side towards the light. Double side then will go in. Just like that. Cut our green wire. Strip it back. Add your third blue spade. And put it on the diode. Now your right turn and brake light function is done. It's that simple. Now we'll do our running light signal. Go ahead and cut our purple wire. And add on our diode the same way. Now this is where our jumper wire is going to come in. And have your brown wire. We're going to cut it in half, or cut it to length. But we're going to be using both ends. We're going to strip back both of them. Run those together. This is where the large yellow spade connector comes in. Add it on. Crimp it down. We'll add that onto the other side, like that. Now we're going to take the rest of our brown wire. We're actually going to feed it back down, and that's what we're going to run over to the driver's side and connect to our running light signal. Cut our ground wire down. And strip it. Add the ring terminal. Just want to make sure it's mounted on metal. We're going to mount it right here. We use a self-typing screw that comes in the kit. Now what I like to do is, depending on the spacing behind the light, stick the two diodes together like this. And we can go ahead and put our taillight back in. I think there's enough space right about here that we can get it to fit. Once you get it installed, go ahead and reinstall your wing nuts to hold your light in place. Now we've run our brown wire and our yellow wire right across the back of our fascia here. You're going to have your frame rails that come out that hook to your bumper beam that runs right here. Go over the top of them, and you can see right here where I've got both my wires. Now we're going to run those up to our driver's side tail light and hook those into the proper wires with our diodes. And again, our yellow wire is going to be our brake and turn. Yellow wire from our diode kit is going to be our brake and turn signal. Our running light signal. Only thing that's going to be different from the other side is we're going to have a single brown wire going into our running light signal or to our diode instead of a double. You can reinstall your taillights. Now that we've gone ahead and put our fascia back in place in reverse order from the way we took it out, we'll go ahead and install our 6-pole plug. We're going to take the rubber boot off. We're going to put the skinny end on our wires. Just sit like that. And strip back our wires here. GD for ground, LT left turn, RT right turn, TM is going to be running lights. And with this setup, you're going to have 2 extra pins for any other accessories you may want to add, like a battery charge line. And we're going to have 2 extra pins for anything else you may want to add later on. What you want to watch out for is you don't want to take these little screws all the way out because they are pretty small. Phillips or flathead works. I'm going to start with my right turn, which is my green. Left turn. Ground, which is white. And then the TM, which is going to be our brown wire or running lights. Like that. And it's a good idea if you take a little bit of a dielectric grease and put it over your connections to help keep them from corroding. If you don't have any dielectric grease, you can find some here on our website at etrailer.com. We'll slide our boot over. Take a little bit of wire loom that comes in your kit. And this part's completely up to you. I like to do it so we don't show the colored wires. Take some electrical tape. It's going to help seal it a little bit better. I'm just going to go all the way down, right over top my wire loom. We'll take a couple self-tappers. We're going to bolt it right to the 2 pegs, or 2 rods coming off our base plate. Now we'll test out our wiring using alternate power source. That's going to simulate being hooked up to your RV. Taillights, left turn, brake lights, right turn. That'll do it for a look at and installation on the Roadmaster 4-Diode Universal Wiring Kit for towed vehicles, part number RM-152-98146-7 on our 2018 Ford Focus.